Hi friends and gardeners. Yeah, I know. STARRYS. I know. I'm crouching in my corn now. When is she ever going to stand up? I stand up occasionally, but I am crouching in my corn because this is amazing. It is, I think the last video I made was 10 days ago. 10 days, 10 fingers, and I had to pull out the camera again. We just hit July, and our garden is beyond exploding. I was just talking to Mr. Hilder, and we were looking at the phenomenal growth that we have this year, and it is already so far ahead of last year. It's outpacing it. And the amazing thing is we just had frost 3 weeks ago, and we have high winds today, and we had some cold, and then we had some extreme heat. It's all over the place. And I know I just said this in the last video, but 10 days later, it's still growing. And, you know, I'm not adding anything. I'm not adding any Epsom salts. I'm not adding any organic fertilizers at this point. No, we just planted, and it's just growing. It's pretty cool. So this is going to be hopefully one of those 5-minute drive-by updates to show you friends how spectacular the garden is doing without us doing anything. You know what? And that's a good thing. That's a great thing. All right, come on. Okay, friends, 10 days. 10 days, and look at the corn. I know, this is amazing. It just keeps growing, and it has well surpassed knee-high, waist-high. And the beauty is the corn is coming right out of the wood chips. Direct sow, and wow. It is probably the best looking corn I have seen in a long time. And again, friends, only 10 days. And the beauty of this spot also is that in between we're doing companion gardening. We have our peas coming up. Look at that, little tiny peas. And our carrots are beginning to come up. We just showed you that in the last video. Mr. Hilder was actually just planting the carrots, and pop, there they are. But healthy corn. And I mean, I love it. This is pretty cool. We're gonna have corn. Okay, I really don't know what to say about the tomato plants, so I'm just gonna let them speak for themselves, because you saw the last video. They were pretty darn tall, and they were just getting some tomatoes on them, and now I'm gonna show you how tall they really, I mean, they sprouted up almost over. Okay, so yes, the sky is the limit with my tomato plants, but this is where I really want to zoom in with my tomato cam and show you friends the difference. The difference between 10 days ago is my tomato plants now are filled with abundant produce. Look at that. It is insane the amount of produce each tomato plant is now yielding. And this is where I need to make a clear distinction between the Back to Eden garden method and other methods. Because, you know, usually at this time in the growing season, everybody's plants start looking great. I know, there are beautiful gardens out there. I've seen them myself. I've seen the pictures. My friends share them at work. And sooner or later, people will get beautiful plants, beautiful produce, and they'll start picking just like I'm picking. And they'll start eating out of their garden just like STARRYS eating out of her Back to Eden garden. Yeah. But this is the clear distinction. And this is what I've been finding out after 4 years of planting, say, our tomatoes in the same spot year after year, and not rotating our crops, not having any problems with blight, not having to water my tomato plants. This is where the separation of the waters take place. And when I say the separation is conventional garden methods. After so many years of planting, the soil will become sooner or later depleted. If you're not adding your fertilizers to it, if you're not building up your soil every year in a conventional garden method and rotating your crops, you're going to have depleted soil. It is just a fact of life when it comes to gardening. But the Back to Eden garden method, why the wood chips? The wood chips because it adds the nitrogen and the carbon balance, but it also creates a biodiverse community in this soil. This soil now houses nematoids, bacteria, good fungi, protozoa, and it brings in such things as earthworms, which creates a vermiculture. This soil is alive. It's alive. And it's impossible for it to become depleted. It just is. And that is the beauty of the layering and the using the wood chips and mimicking nature. That's the beauty of it. And that's the separation from conventional garden methods to the Back to Eden garden method. So I had to give the Back to Eden garden method a little shout out in the soil. And and also the shout out to my high yielding, very high yielding tomato plants. There's the potatoes, and they grew even more from that last clip. Isn't that outstanding? And I wanna show you real closely. The plants are very healthy. We don't have any little bugs, and we kind of discovered this just the other day by accident. There was a potato poking through. And look at that, see? So the potatoes are growing underneath there. And real quickly, last year we did a little experimenting with the potato patch. We had the cages and we had the tire mound. And we just found that our yield was not as good as the previous year when we just simply planted the potatoes in the soil. And I want to point out to you, friends, secret to growing potatoes. Okay, well, sometimes on YouTube there are videos out there that says, here's the secret to growing potatoes. And then you watch it and it, like the potato towers. High yield, right? Lots of potatoes. And then you do a tower yourself and it doesn't work so well. How does that happen? Well, it happens because sometimes they're not being honest in showing you the whole deal. In fact, Michigan Gardener did an excellent video debunking the potato tower and some other myths that are out there. Watch it if you can, because he really does a good job at explaining what the potato tower is and why you're seeing what you're seeing. But the bottom line is, friends, you have to take that potato and plant it in the soil. Potatoes grow vertically, so they grow down and they grow up, and they have to be mound. You just have to keep mounding, hilling. That's the secret. They got to be hilled. And for us, we use the Back to Eden garden method, even with our hilling, which means we don't have to worry about getting out the garden hose and watering our potatoes twice a week, 3 times a week. We don't have to worry about bugs infesting our potato plants. Don't have to worry about weeding. As you see, healthy. Look at, potato cam, healthy. So do a little research and don't get sucked into the YouTube hype with the towers or the burlap bags or the trash cans or the tires. Keep it simple, really. Soil, mounding. That's it. That's all potatoes need. Okay, friends, so that was from the potatoes to the tomatoes to the corn. We did 3 of the vegetables today in Starry's garden, and come back for more, because this week Starry is going to continue talking about the rest of her garden, because there's so much. I gotta break it up, and we have more Back to Eden advice. Okay? All right. God bless, and have fun in your garden.